What's going on, people? KG is back with another upload, back with some more news that concerns Leeds United. It will be after appeals and everything else that it has to go through, but could Leeds United profit from Everton's misery? Before I get into the video, please hit a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and of course, drop your comments below. Now, we're talking about Everton's 10-point deduction that has been officialed. It's stamped. It's been applied to the table, as you'll see here. I mean, look, they were 14th on 14 points after 12 games played. And as you can see at the bottom, the adjusted table now is 12 games played and 4 points. And that's how comfortable they were in the division. I've said many times on here that the Premier League this season at the bottom of the table is so poor. That's why I'm so disappointed we didn't stay up, because I think we would have had a fighting chance with this bottom of the table this season, as I'm sure Leicester and Southampton feel the same. But now Everton find themselves back in the real mix, second from bottom. I mean, Burnley, they got 10 points deducted. Burnley's still bottom. I mean, what does that say about Burnley, But it's one of these things there. Everton have been hit. The deductions applied. And why does that pertain to Leeds United? Well, before we get into that, Everton, of course, and just to show you the full table, by the way, of just how insane it looks, when a point deduction has been applied, there's 4 wins in the column there, and they're second from bottom with 4 points. Always looks mad to me. But of course, Everton will, they're appealing the ruling. They're shocked, disappointed, and everything else like that. They've put their statement out, and this is their full statement on the screen here. They think that they've been open and transparent and everything else. And they're also alluding to here, as you can probably tell by the Manchester City cases, the 115. The club will also monitor with great interest the decisions made in other cases concerning the Premier League's P&S rules. That's always bound to happen. You set the precedent, don't you? If you've hit Everton with this, they're going to look around. I think every club and every fan would feel like that too. But another thing here, and this is further from Henry Winter, Everton will appeal the 10-point deduction, which leaves them joint bottom of the Premier League. Club shocked and dismayed by a commission ruling. Yeah. Everton argue that stadium interest charges should still be admissible as expenditure, and point out that I'm not going to read the last bit just in case YouTube flags me, but you get it with the whole thing across there. Okay, I'm not going to say it. I can't say it. YouTube's very strict. But I mean, a point that's from someone called Mark Douglas, and there's a lot of writing here. I just want to get to the bottom of it. The reality is that Everton failed to manage its finances so as to operate within the generous threshold of 105 million. Its mismanagement led to a threshold being exceeded by 19.5 million. Now, in a way, that's a lot of money to everybody, but in football, you think 19.5 million and 10 points. Ooh, that's harsh, isn't it? It's a little bit harsh. I know I'd feel hard done by if I was in Everton's shoes, but I want to make something clear just before I go on to the Leeds portion of this. And that is, whether Everton got 10 points deducted last season, we would have been relegated anyway. It'd have been Leicester that survived. And also to the fact as well, even though Everton gained a competitive advantage off the pitch, we were poor on it. Every decision we made, whether it's from recruitment to the managers we had, to the results we had, the beatings we was taking, the points we couldn't gain. We finished with 31 points at the end. We deserve to be relegated. And I'm not going to rewrite history, because it's so funny that this is coming back, because I've previously joked about this with my partner who supports Sheffield United, about the whole Sheffield United getting 50 million from West Ham when they got relegated because they weren't good enough over a season. Had nothing to do with Tevez, had nothing with Mascherano. It's just that you guys didn't get enough points, before the end of the season. And it's the same with us. We didn't do enough over the season to get enough points, because let's be real. If it wasn't the clubs being mentioned here, if we were all in mid-table or in Europe, we wouldn't be bothered with Everton's thing here. We'd be chilling like Brighton, Brentford, Villa, all those teams. We'd be looking at our European fixtures. We'd be looking at how we can break into the top 6. These things won't concern us. Even Palace, Palace, we're not good enough to challenge for Europe, but, there's always teams poorer than us. We don't care about you either. So we are in the group of the potential suit because we weren't good enough over a season. But at the same time, I understand that where from a business point of view, you could say, Well, if we had spent an extra 19.5 million on an extra player that could have made the difference or what have you, then maybe we would have got enough points to stay up. So I get it from that point of view, but from a purely football point of view, we deserve to go down. And plus, it's not like Everton bought world-class players that got them out the jam. They were a poor squad. If anything, Leicester would probably think Leicester have got a better squad. We should have survived over them. But and I just want to make that clear because their failings, our failings, have got nothing to do with that. But from a business point of view, I get it. And this is where it comes from in there. Matt Hughes here. Burnley, Leeds, and Leicester confirm intention to sue Everton for 300 million in talks between the clubs this afternoon. Rob Dorset then shares that Leicester City has said nothing about Everton points deduction, but he understands that they're consulting lawyers and discussing options. They could only make a financial claim, not demand to be reinstated in the Premier League at Everton's expense, but suing is an option. I think that's pretty obvious to everybody. I don't think anybody expected for Everton to be taken out now and then Leicester to be put back in. I don't think that was a realistic expectation. But obviously, loss of money is a big thing to football clubs. And as it says there, you're talking nearly 100 million for each club. Ben Jacobs also adds here, although Everton are appealing, which changes timeframes, I should say. Blech. Leicester, Burnley, Southampton, Leeds, and Nottingham Forest must still decide if they wish to seek compensation against Everton. Clubs took collective action with relegated teams in particular having a potential claim according to a May ruling. And we remember hearing about all this potential suing when we was in the midst of this relegation battle. Even then it was like, oh, what we doing? Let's get the points and stay up. Let's do that instead. But alas. Burnley in 2021-22 and Leicester in 22-23 occupied the final relegation spot, with Everton surviving and could take collective action for around 300 million. So yeah, I mean, it's all of those things, and of course, there's a lot more information out there as well if you want to seek it. But it's going to be interesting to follow this one. Everton have clearly got the points deduction. It's set. It's there. They can appeal against it, of course. But do these clubs then go on to claim loss of earnings because of Everton's breaking of the rules? It'll be very interesting to hear. And again, I want to make it clear, I do get it completely from a business standpoint. You've played within the rules. You haven't gone over the P&S, where if you did, maybe you'd had a better chance of surviving in different areas. But from a footballing point of view, we deserve to go down. And we got to make that clear. But from a business point of view, can Leeds profit from it? Will Leicester look to get some money off it, as the most recently burned by it, I would say. Southampton as well. It's going to be an interesting time to see if these clubs still go ahead, because I think at the time as well, when we were suing, it was Radrizzani at the forefront of it, I should say. But I'm sure Parag would have been in the background and up to date with everything in regards to that for when they would have taken over in the summer. So you would think that the Leeds part of it will continue and try and get the loss of earnings. And if they do, I mean, 100 million would be nice, wouldn't it, people? Then some of those loan players we can probably sell off for a little bit cheaper, so it doesn't hit us too much, you know. We don't have to ever see their faces again. I was, shout out to Phil. Hey, he's done another article talking about the 11 loanees. Every time I see him, man, I just think, yeah. I don't want to see these guys again. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? It's going to be interesting. I'm interested to get your thoughts in regards to this. Is the 10 points for 19.5 or whatever it may be too harsh, or what do you think? Do you think Leeds should pursue the loss of earnings even from our own failures? Because I repeat again, if we was in Villa's and Brentford's position, we wouldn't care about this at all, because those clubs don't care right now. But that's what it is, people. That is a state of play. So, and I would also say as well, when we got punished as well, by the way, there was not one club that felt sorry for us, not one. In fact, they wanted to stick the boot in when we got that -15. So I don't have any sympathy for Everton. I've got to, let me just make that clear, because nobody had sympathy for us. And it's not one of those, well, if you didn't care for us, I don't care for you. No, I just don't care. All right. We've been there when we was down in the doldrums, struggling, -15. Nah, you know what? It builds character. It builds character. So Everton, build your character from here. But yes, people, hit a like, subscribe, and of course, drop your comments. Until the next time, people, peace out.